Welcome back, students. Today we'll discuss about Smith chart. As it is an important question in the examination point of view, almost 8 or 10 marks of the numerical, definite numerical will be asked in the examination. This Smith chart I already taught to you in the class. We have taken n number of examples in the class. We try to solve it by taking a separate Smith chart for every numerical, but now it may not be possible for me to explain it to you in detail, but I will just try to revise all the basic concepts of the Smith chart along with the help of this particular slide. I have taken this Smith chart PDF and copied this part of the Smith chart. So let's discuss about what exactly Smith chart is and what we are going to do. So Smith chart is also called as a black magic design. It is used to solve the numericals of the transmission line, where it is also called as an impedance chart. Smith chart is also called as impedance chart, where the impedance is load impedance, characteristic impedance, standing wave ratio, anything can be represented by using specified notation on this Smith chart. Now let's look here. We'll take an example first of all and we'll try to understand. Now the basic point while designing a Smith chart is that none of the value on the Smith chart is the actual value. So every value on the Smith chart we call it as a normalized value. What I mean to say by normalized value, if I take an example, load impedance ZL as it is 50 plus J100, just take an example, 50 plus J100. I'm not able to write it here, but let's understand. 50 plus J100, this is plus J100 I'm talking about. So 50 plus J100 is the impedance value of this particular, let me draw it. Okay, I'm not able to draw. So just understand, ZL equal to 50 plus J100 is the load impedance, and Z0, if I assume Z0, Z0 is called as a characteristic impedance. It can be represented by R0 also as 50 ohm or let's say 75 ohms. Now in order to represent this ZL on this Smith chart, I cannot represent directly 50 plus J100. I need to divide this ZL by Z0, then I will get ZL bar, and that ZL bar is equal to normalized one. So ZL bar, I can say that ZL bar is equal to actual ZL divided by Z0. So this we can represent on the Smith chart. So ZL upon Z0 value will be represented. So this is normalized. So the first point to remember, nothing on the Smith chart is actual value. Everything on the Smith chart is a normalized value with respect to characteristic impedance Z0. First thing. Now I will come back to this Smith chart once again. If the impedances are given, that means if the load impedance, characteristic impedance are given in terms of Z, that I am going to call it as impedance. Then now see, if you can able to see this horizontal line, on this horizontal line upper half will be inductive and lower half will be capacitive. Now I will repeat this. See, whenever I am talking about impedances, that means ZR, Z0, Z0, what it may be. So whenever in the numerical the resistance value or these impedances values are given in terms of Z, the upper half is inductive and lower half is capacitive. And if they are represented in terms of Y, that is admittance, as we all know, admittance is equal to 1 upon Z, then we say that upper half is capacitive, exactly vice versa. So in case of admittances, upper half will become capacitive and lower half will become inductive. Okay, clear? Then next point, remember, I will go once again back to this Smith chart diagram. On this horizontal line, as impedance goes on increasing, at this particular point we will get R equal to 0, X equal to 0. The impedances are represented as R plus Jx. Any value you take, R plus Jx, it may be 50 plus J100 or 75 plus J200 or 225, what it may be. Now from this is the middle center of this Smith chart, we call this as a 1.0. This is a match point. This is very important to understand. Match point means ZR equal to Z0. As we start moving from this 1.0 towards the right hand side, we get R very greater than 0, and at this particular point I will get r equal to infinity, x equal to infinity, and we call this point as open circuit point. So this point is an open circuit point where impedances are approaching towards infinity. They are not exactly equal to infinity, but they are approaching towards infinity. Now from this 1.0, if I start moving to the left hand side, the value goes on reducing 0.8, 0.9, 0.7, 0.6, 0.2 and 0. So here I will get r equal to 0 and x equal to 0, and this point is called as a short circuit point on the Smith chart. Now there are 3 points that we am talking about. First point is match point, that is middle one, 1.0. On the right hand side, open circuit point. On the left hand point, it is a short circuit point. Now when I am saying that on the Smith chart the impedances are measured or represented in terms of r plus jx, now try to understand this. There are some complete circle, you are able to see this. See, this is a complete circle, and there are some arcs, or I can say that there are some incomplete circle. You can see it on the both sides. Okay, now there are some circles and there are some incomplete circles. So see, the constant r circle, so the complete circles represented on the Smith chart are called constant resistance circle, and the arcs which you are able to see are called constant reactance arc. So these r are represented by constant circles, and these arcs are represented by simple semicircles, or I can say that some of the arcs. So r is represented by complete circle and x is represented by arcs. Now any value of the resistance impedance can be represented by proper combination of this r and x. How to do that, we will see in some of the numericals coming. Now if this point is clear, so from this particular slide you have to just understand 3 points: open circuit point, short circuit point, match point. Along with that, if the resistance is represented as r plus jx, the complete circles on this Smith chart, which every circle passes through this point. So every circle on the Smith chart passes through this open circuit point. Okay, remember this thing, any circle you take, if it is a circle of 0, that even passes through this open circuit point, and if it is a circle of 1, that even passes through this point of open circuit. And this complete circle represent constant reactance resistance circle, and these arcs represent constant reactance arc. Okay, let's go back to Smith chart once again. As I told you, whenever I am dealing with impedances, impedance can be z equal to, let's say, r plus jx, or r minus jx, or r minus jx. Now instead of representing separately, how I can represent it on the Smith chart? Now first question you can ask to yourself, what I am dealing with? Am I dealing with impedances? Am I dealing with admittances? So right now I am dealing with the impedances, and here I can see this is the horizontal separating line which separates this inductive part and capacitive part. So upper half is inductive and lower half is capacitive. Perfectly okay. Now whenever I am getting them r plus jx, so you just try to find a circle, this complete circle. See, if I am talking about any circle, the half of the circle passes through this half and half of the circle passes through the lower half. Now whenever I am talking about r plus jx, I need to see the circle and arc on the upper half of this Smith chart. And whenever I am talking about r minus jx, I need to see the circle and arc where they are crossing on the lower half. Okay, so upper half and lower half, this is very very important to understand. Whenever the impedances are measured, sometimes the student make a mistake. They know how to locate r, they know how to locate x, but they don't concentrate on this plus or minus sign. If there is a plus sign, you should concentrate on upper half of the Smith chart, and whenever it is a minus sign, minus jx, you should concentrate on the lower half of the Smith chart. This point make it very very clear. Then coming back to once again Smith chart, there are some scales represented on Smith chart, like reflection coefficient, transmission coefficient, angle of reflection coefficient, wavelength towards generator, wavelength towards load. You can observe this here. Whenever I am moving from load towards generator, now remind this, whenever I am moving from load towards generator, so there are two electrical wavelengths or electrical lengths that we need to calculate on the transmission line. So whenever I am moving towards generator, so wavelength towards generator, so this is towards generator, so we move clockwise on the Smith chart. Whereas whenever the wavelength towards load need to be calculated, so if I am traveling towards load, we need to travel on the Smith chart in anti-clockwise direction. So 2 points very clear. Whenever I am traveling towards generator, from load towards generator, I need to move clockwise. Whenever I am moving towards load, I need to travel anti-clockwise. Okay, and one more point, angle of reflection coefficient. It may not be visible here. You can just download a Smith chart PDF from any browser you get and just see the angle of reflection coefficient. These angles are represented from here. It is 0 degree, 10, 20, 90, what it may be, and the angle goes on running in the anti-clockwise direction. So this is the angle of reflection coefficient, and right below that there is an angle of transmission coefficient. So we'll just look right now for angle of reflection coefficient only. So whenever angle of reflection coefficient is to be measured, we will travel anti-clockwise. So this is a protractor scale. If you can see 10, 20, 40, and it is going in the anti-clockwise direction. So it is angle of reflection coefficient. Whereas right below that it is angle of transmission coefficient. So we are not going to look after that right now. So 4 or 5 important things. So reflection coefficient, standing wave ratio we can calculate. Input impedance of any point on the transmission line by using this Smith chart. This is very important to understand and very important to solve transmission line problem. So we'll continue in the next lecture with one numerical. We'll try to solve one numerical. We'll try to address that numerical, and once that is clear, we'll try to understand. Now one more point is left. That we have seen some of the point in the transmission line where the half circle on the Smith chart, this half circle corresponds to lambda by 4 wavelength. If we travel on this semicircle part on the Smith chart, we say that semicircle corresponds to lambda by 2, the complete lambda by 4, complete circle corresponds to lambda by 2, and I'll repeat this particular point. See, a semicircle on the Smith chart corresponds to wavelength lambda by 4. So lambda by 4 corresponds to semicircle, and this complete circle corresponds to lambda by 2. So lambda by 2 equal to how many degrees? Because one circle corresponds to 180 degrees. Therefore lambda corresponds to 360 degrees. This is very important formula you can remember. So lambda equal to 360, I am having lambda by 2 equal to 360 degrees. It's not 180 because complete circle corresponds to 360 degrees. So lambda is equal to 720 degrees. Okay, I'll repeat it for you. So semicircle corresponds to lambda by 4. So semicircle corresponds to 180 degrees, and complete circle corresponds to lambda by 2 because every semicircle corresponds to, so this lambda by 4, this lambda by 4 corresponds to lambda by 2. So lambda by 2 equal to 360 degree, and we can come to the point that lambda is equal to 720 degrees. So remember these point only about Smith chart. In the next lecture, coming lecture, we'll try to solve one numerical. We'll revise this last concept also in the numerical, and then we'll carry forward our discussion then how to solve the numericals of the transmission line using Smith chart. Right now this is all from my side. So stay home, stay safe and happy learning. Thank you very much.